One. Boom.
What's up, America? Welcome to the Kenny and Richard show. It's wintertime, man, and we are on to baseball. We got spring training around the corner. We are on to golf. We got NBA. Honestly, if you're still doing the whole football, listen, football's a fall sport. Um, I don't know, man. I don't really think football should be going that late to January, anyways. It's really August, September, October, November, December. That's it. Um, so yeah, we don't really have any football news. We're just gonna go full steam ahead with the winter sports here. Again, football is not a winter sport. So I really don't know why people would be talking about it in almost February. So, Kenny, you got any golf news you want to give us?
Yeah. Football. Don't know what even happened recently, past
I
week or
didn't. Did,
so.
was there what is it? What was it? The playoffs this weekend?
Yeah, something about that. I saw something on
Was it the Super
Facebook.
Bowl?
I think I don't. The Super
I don't know.
Bowl. That's like some type
Yeah,
of
I don't know.
chip in the college thing. I don't know. But in golf, Nick Dunlap. He's an amateur.
Yeah.
He's the
Yes.
um he's the first ever amateur to win a PGA Tour event since 1991, since Phil Mickelson. He
Yes.
just won
Yes.
the American Express. So
Yeah. I was
golf
watching it. I
clap.
was watching that Saturday and Sunday from like 3 to 9 to 10,
Yes,
11. Yeah.
likewise, likewise.
Yeah. 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 The Astros signed Josh Hader, 5 year,
No
$95 million.
way,
Let's go. Yes. Yes.
bro.
We got a lot of the Lightning won this week. It's hockey season too, man. Dude, listen.
Josh Hader, dang,
If
good pitcher.
right now and like I said, late January, we're talking about baseball, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is called. All right, we're just messing around. We appreciate
Ha!
you guys all being in on the joke. It's another episode Tuesday Night Football. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were eliminated from the playoffs. I'm gonna do wardrobe change real quick.
While Richard is doing a wardrobe change, yes, the Bucks lost. So we did a little bit there. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. We played a great game. I think every fan of this podcast is pretty much just it's all Tampa people at this point. But this point in time, we played a great game. Can't really be mad. It's like when you work really hard at something, and you just gave it your all, and I got nothing left. I think that's literally what happened with our team. The way that ended, it felt like a dagger in the heart, though, with Baker throwing that interception at the end there. That was brutal. But nonetheless, really excited for next season. We got a lot of good games still to break down for you guys. But man, it's just
Oh,
unfortunate. I'm gonna do
yeah.
my wardrobe change now.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go change it up. Okay, just gave you a synopsis. That was yeah, that was tough. The Bucs lost to the Detroit Lions in Motown. 31-23, I believe the final score was. Really good game. Really good game. I thought that the Bucs competed. I wanted us to score first. We didn't. The Lions got a field goal off first. They did get the ball first. We stopped them. We didn't get one, and then actually our first drive picker threw a pick. Um, they scored an extra point. They scored a field goal. We scored a field goal. Then they scored the first touchdown. But this team, well, I think. Listen, we're obviously not fake fans. We're not fair weather fans. This podcast has been believing in the Bucs for a very long time now. So I can speak freely because I know that this podcast has been with the Bucs since we were 3-1, when we were 4-7, when we were 8-8. We've been there. So this team was awesome. It was really fun to watch. The winning the NFC South for a third year in a row, fantastic. That was really amazing. Um, and the Eagles playoff game was. We're not going to call our Super Bowl because we've won 2 Super Bowls, so we're not going to be that fan base that says that was our Super Bowl. It was not. It was a very, very good. Yep, there you go, Super Bowl champions. That was a fantastic playoff game. The crowd, both of us were at the Cowboys game last year. I could tell you right now, the crowd wasn't even close to the crowd that we had. You could feel the Philly fans were like on the very, very they were on the edge of the iceberg. They were like, oh no, we don't want to fall. They knew that what was coming to their team, and the Bucs fans were rowdy because a lot of them, not us, but a lot of them didn't expect for us to have an opportunity to be there, and they were fired up about it, and it was awesome. So
Did we break
it was
that
a
down?
great. What was that?
Did we break that down last episode, or yeah, I thought we did, right? We went
Yeah,
like
yeah, I think we
okay,
did. We
all
had
right.
to have. Yeah, yeah. It was a great game. That game, it was a great season. We left it all out in the field in Detroit. That was not a blowout. I know it was an 8-point game. It felt a lot closer. We were down 14. We scored late. The whole first half was neck and neck, and honestly going into the fourth quarter was neck and neck. They played very well in the fourth quarter. Got good credit to the Lions. They are a very good football team. Um, it was tough way, but it was a great season. I'll say that it was a fantastic, awesome, exciting, fun season.
Yeah, I think, as a Buccaneers fan, and there's a lot of us, pretty much, I said this when you were gone, think, the majority of our fan base is Tampa Bay Buck fans. We don't have a large fan base. It's growing every day.
Shout out to Melvin. He's a Jets fan. They'll be back next year.
Yeah, he's also a part-time Bucks fan.
Part time.
Um, But yeah, no, I think every single Bucks fan is hopeful for what we saw, and it's really cool and exciting because next season now you can see like we have a vision and we still have a playoff caliber team. That being said, we can talk about this, Richard, if you'd like. There's going to be some notable free agents in the offseason.
Yep.
But staying on this game real quick, I agree with what Richard said. We competed the entire game. I was nervous. Obviously, we're both biased and we're going to be extreme Bucks believers. But I mean, I didn't know how that game was going to play out. And for it to be that close the entire game, and really like we had a real shot at actually taking that and winning was awesome. And
Yeah.
watching that game was electric. I was at this little like watch party thing with my family, and everybody was going crazy every time we scored. Like I've just never felt that level of excitement in so long. Just playoff football is one of a kind. So it was awesome, and unfortunately we couldn't get it done. But I am hopeful for next season. I hope we bring back Mike Evans, and I'm sure we're going to bring back Baker. I'm confident we'll bring back Mike Evans as well. But we got a lot of decisions to make. Thankfully, we don't have to make those decisions because we have people that are paid to do that. We just
Yeah.
get to break it down. So
Hopefully one day I can make those decisions, but and then we'll look back and clip this in 15 years. Um,
that'd be cool.
but yeah, we got some decisions to make. I think we have some decisions that are easier than others. A la Mike Evans, a la probably Devin White. I don't think Devin White will be suited up in a Buccaneers uniform ever again. And that's not to say listen, that's not a knock on Devin White, the player. We've all seen it. That the reason that has made was a big reason because of Devin White. He was an animal his second year in the league. Um, maybe a little bit complacency, maybe a little bit of uh false belief in himself that he can make every play when sometimes you can't make every play. Injuries played a part in that as well, and you know, in the playoffs he lost. He wasn't starting. KJ Britt was a starter. KJ Britt played very well. Devin White did not get a lot of snaps. And maybe that was the Bucs looking after him, saying, go get paid in free agency by somebody else, and don't because we're clearly not going to bring him back. I think clearly he's not a fit in the defense anymore. We need to re-sign Mike Evans. We need to bring back Baker Mayfield on a deal that makes sense for both sides. Baker deserves to get paid. We need to have cap flexibility. Don't know how that's going to work out. I don't want to franchise tag Mike Evans. Mike Evans deserves to get paid. Again, this will be his third contract. Winfield, Wirfs.
Winfield is worse. Oh my gosh,
Um,
I didn't know worse contract was expiring. That's
Stinney
scary.
is a free agent. I thought Stinney played really well. Our offensive line looked a lot better when he was in there instead of Matt Filer. Um, he'll Matt Filer probably won't be back. If he is, he's going to be on a minimum deal. Um, we got some holes to fix. I don't know what's going to go on with JTS. Um, Shaq Barrett might have been his last game, and if it was, we absolutely love Shaq Barrett. Great player, great person. Um, Dealt with a lot this year, and he gave it his all this year, and we love Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett's always gonna have a home in Tampa. Um,
Do you notice
yeah,
his? So I was while you were talking there, I was looking up because obviously signing free agents is a key component of building a great team, but so is drafting.
Hmm.
So as of right now, I'm pretty sure this is final. We have the 26th overall pick. And I
It's
just saw
fantastic.
saw a mock that we're gonna draft. I was gonna ask if you know how to say his name from UCLA. Latu.
To the defensive end.
He's a defensive end from
Yeah.
UCLA. They're
Yeah.
thinking he
I,
might
I
fall. That'd be
think
kind of cool to.
I
We
think
always
our
draft edge guys though.
yeah, we definitely I think we're gonna need somebody to complement Yaya, but we also need some serious secondary help. I don't know if we're gonna bring Carlton Davis back. Carlton Davis played a lot better towards the end of the year than he did at the beginning of the year, but he has a huge cap number. Jamel Dean's here to stay, just signed a contract extension last offseason. Um, Zion McCollum got a lot better playing a little bit of that free safety spot. Um, when he's back there with Winfield, a little Tampa 2 style. But we're gonna see. It's gonna be a busy offseason for Jason Light, Mike Greenberg. If Mike Greenberg stays, I know that he's gotten some head coach or general manager interviews. Um, but all I can say is this season was awesome. We never gave up hope. We believed from week 1, and we believed in week 21, whatever week it was. Um, Never gonna stop being a Bucs fan. I love the Buccaneers so much. They bring me a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, sometimes pain. That's what comes with the territory.
Oof. Yeah.
But there's one team that what Tom Brady says there's only one team that's happy at the end of the year, and there's 31 other teams that are pissed. So I wouldn't put us in the piss category. I put us in the, we gave it our all category, and the results are the results. Lions were the better team Sunday. I'll say that the Lions were the better team Sunday. So
The Lions they're a really good team. I think obviously most people know that, but they really showed just like how dynamic they are. I mean, Jared Goff is playing really well. Jared Goff and Baker kind of have like the similar arcs, really similar. Both number one overall picks, both kind of, struggled early in their career, then kind of found their footing. Jared Goff's a lot more solidified, I would say, because he's had a couple good years now. Baker, this is by far his best year that
yeah,
I
Jared
can
Goff
remember.
gets Jared Goff gets the short end of the stick on a lot of these like comparisons, man. Like the guy led the team, guy led the Rams to the Super Bowl his third year, and I don't know if people remember, but Jeff Fisher was the head coach of the Rams when they drafted him. Like they were not what the Rams are now. I think he did. No, his first year was L.A. The Rams last year in St. Louis was 2015. 2016 they moved to L.A. and they were still a dumpster fire. I think Case Keenum was their starter for a little bit before they put Goff in. Um, so 16, 17, Jeff Fisher gets fired midway through 17, I believe. 18, they bring in, no, 17, they bring in McVay. Sorry. 16, Jeff Fisher is fired midway. 17, they bring in McVay. They make the playoffs for the first time in forever. 18, they go to the Super Bowl. 19, they regress. COVID year 2020, he played okay, injuries. He had that weird thing in the versus Seattle in the playoffs game where like they played him. They didn't start him, but he came in relief. He had a messed up thumb. And
I don't know if it's
he
just me,
shipped
Richard, but your connection right now is like you're lagging.
so like what he played well. You're further. Oh,
Oh, it's my connection.
okay. There you go. There you go. You're
It's
back.
my connection. Okay, I thought
There
it
you
was
go.
your connection, but I just got a message.
Maybe it's both. Maybe it's both of our connections.
It could be
It's a
both.
mutual connection.
It could be a mutual
It could be
connection.
both. It could be
Um,
both.
but we love Zoom, so it's all good. But
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Zoom. But now focusing kind of just on the end of the season. Yeah, I mean everything you said, pretty much agree with. We got a lot of decisions to make. Played a great game. I'm not gonna lie, the last like minute I didn't hear anything you said because I was lagging so bad. But I was looking at some top free agents. I mean, there's Chris Jones is gonna be a free agent coming in this offseason. Obviously, Kirk Cousins, Josh Allen, T. Higgins, Josh Allen on the Jaguars, not the Bills. Brian Burns. There's some good corners. Jalen Johnson from the Bears, L'Jarius Sneed from the Chiefs. So I'm curious,
Oh,
if we're gonna make any big
oh,
signings. While you were talking, I
nope,
was.
not me.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Well, we're okay. I think we're caught up now. I lagged a little bit.
This is some adversity here. Hopefully, in the video, it doesn't screw up for you guys. But
All right, yeah, yeah, you're back. You're back.
okay, well,
Was I lagging? Was I lagging?
I was looking at my computer screen. I come back and I just like see you just like buzzing like a bee. Yeah. So I was just talking about some key free agents that are going to be in the offseason. We don't have to go too in depth because I'm sure we still want to pick next week's games here,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of exciting things to come in the NFL. Even though we made those jokes about baseball, golf, all that, but
Yeah.
still some still exciting things coming
Yeah.
up.
Any real NFL fan will tell you that these next 3, 4 weeks are like, we're gonna savor it. I'm gonna listen. I'm going to go to a Super Bowl week one of these years. I don't know where it's going to be. This week is this year is in Vegas. I think Super Bowl week is one of the coolest things ever. I think every single professional sport should do what the NFL does, where everybody's in one central hub. They're in one city. There's a ton of interviews, a ton of press. Everybody's there. Every big show is there. Rich Eisen and Dan Patrick, all the NFL crew, NFL Network, everybody. They do media night. It's amazing. So one of these days, I'm going to go to an NFL Super Bowl week. I'm sure Kenny will be there with me. Um, and these like I said, these next 4 weeks are going to be awesome. But just to recap, last week, obviously Bucs lost. The other NFC game was Packers 49ers. The 49ers just squeaked by a hungry Packers team.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
that was a tough game. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I'll be honest. This is what we do. We're an honest podcast. I fell asleep with probably 8, 9 minutes left in the fourth. And selfishly, I'm not going to be in Tampa. I'm not going to be in Tampa next weekend. And if the Packers would have won, I would have been very emotionally torn because that means that if the Bucs would have won, that they would have hosted the NFC Championship. Now, both of those things didn't happen. But when I went to bed, I was like, I don't know which outcome I want to see, to be honest with you. But it didn't matter because the 49ers won 24-21.
yeah, yeah. The 49ers took that one. The Packers, man, it's so cool to see like these teams kind of just get hot, right? Like the playoffs, and
Yep.
I watched an interview after the game, like Dan Campbell talking about he was giving the Bucs, giving the Bucs our flowers, our praise. He was like, that's a good team right there that we just beat because we
Yeah,
we
that's right.
were a good team and we were on fire. And
Yep.
just there's always every year, man. There's like 6, 7 seeds. The Bucs were technically a 4 seed, but it's because we won our division. Division was kind of weak, if we're being real. So
I think we definitely would have been like the 6th seed if
yeah,
yeah.
like in terms of ranking, if
Yeah.
somebody just looked at all the teams and like ranked them,
Yeah.
we probably would have been a 6 or 7 seed, probably 6 seed. But I mean, obviously we got it done against the Eagles, and we played a great game against the Lions. But back to the Packers 49ers game, the Packers, man, Jordan Love is, I mean, from what we've seen this year, he looks like he could potentially be the real deal. They're about to pay him a bag from what everybody's talking about. So I'm curious how much he's about to get paid. I heard that he's going to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, which, I mean, all power to him. That's awesome, but that's a really small sample size to pay somebody that much money because then you're stuck with them. But we'll see. I mean, barring injury, he should be a great option going forward. They got a lot of good weapons. That team's really good. Obviously, the 49ers are a juggernaut and was able to get it done. So it's kind of like not exciting matchups this next week. It is exciting, but there's no like curveballs. Like everything that we're about to see next week is kind of like makes a lot of sense from like the seating perspective. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
Yeah. Gonna be 49ers and the Lions. We already touched on the Lions. That's gonna be a good game. And then the AFC, Ravens took care of business. I think everybody kind of expected that. Texans were a great story. CJ Stroud's a real deal. Um, D'Amico Ryans is the real deal. All those guys. The Nick Casario GM is a real deal. They've done a great job. Um, Taking a really bleak franchise that had a lot of craziness going on around it and flipping it into a divisional round appearance in their first year altogether. So credit to the Texans. They're awesome. Everybody, I thought for sure that the Jaguars were going to dominate the AFC South. Um, that's going to be a really good division for the next couple of years. It suddenly and very quickly turned into all young quarterbacks. Will Levis in Tennessee, Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, Stroud and Richardson. So, um, you know, who knows what's going to go down there in the next couple of years? But the future is very bright in the AFC South, which it hasn't always been. So that's awesome to watch.
I'm curious.
Um,
I was gonna say I'm curious how all these teams are gonna because it seems like now all these teams that are doing well, i.e., Bucks, Dave Canales, Texans, Bobby Slowick, Lions, Ben Johnson, right? I said Ben Johnson. I'm pretty sure his
yeah,
first name's Ben. I blank on it sometimes. All these offensive coordinators are doing so well, and a lot of them are going to get offered head coach positions. When these things happen, I wonder how that's going to affect the offense going forward. Because a big part of it also is like your OC, the
Yeah.
plays that are being called. I'm sure even quarterback coaches, all that stuff matters. So I am curious how that's going to affect things going forward. But obviously, we'll see in the future. But
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but shout out to the Texans and the Ravens took care of business at the bank that they always do.
yeah,
Dominated them. Lamar looked great. Defense looked great. Defense is hungry. Roquan Smith was like an animal. Patrick Queen, animal. Um, Jadeveon Clowney looked like an animal. We haven't seen that Jadeveon Clowney in a while. He looked great.
we're in number
Um,
24.
Marlon Humphrey comes back. I know that 24. That text can't send a text agreement said SMH. He's wearing 24. I know it does definitely
That
looks
threw me
weird.
off.
Yeah, it doesn't look right, but it's pretty funny. Um, Marlon Humphrey comes back next week, and Mark Andrews comes back next week. So
Watch
that
out.
brings us to our next game, which is Chiefs Bills. And let me tell you something. I did not think the Chiefs were going to win this game. I was all in on Bills Mafia. I thought this was the Bills' year. They hung the Lombardi Trophy in their practice facility. I mean, they had that track of a championship team that faces adversity. They were 7-6, one out, won the division last week versus Miami. And to be honest, I don't really know if it was so much them as a team couldn't get it. They just had nobody. I mean, they were just riddled with injuries on the defensive side. I'm not sure so much on the offensive side, but their defense was just no Matt Milano, no Tre'Davious White. Um, they lost a couple guys towards the end as well in the middle of that game. Their safety Rap was out. Von Miller in and out of lineup. So they just I think they had nothing left. That fake punt to Damar
Ugh.
Hamlin. Everybody says it was the right call because there's I guess 10 men on the field. I disagree completely. There could have been 9 guys on the field. You don't run that play right there. Give the ball to Mahomes, and that I mean it ended up working out because McCole Harmon fumbled, but tough game for the Bills.
Yeah, I picked the Chiefs last episode to win, but I don't know. I as the week progressed, I was less and less confident that the Chiefs were actually going to pull it off. The Chiefs did pull it off, obviously, and now it kind of the narrative shifts a bit. Where I mean, the Chiefs know what it's like to play in the postseason. Patrick Mahomes knows what it's like to actually win a Super Bowl, and I mean, this team. If you want to talk about battle tested, I mean, the Chiefs have been through so many ups and downs this season. Their defense is so legit. They really made the Bills work for every touchdown they scored. Um, Also, I don't know what's going on with Stephon Diggs, but he
Yeah,
just the last half of the year, man, even in the playoffs, like he's just been a ghost. Like he's definitely still like talented, but I don't know what happened there. From my perspective, the Bills' offense was pretty much just like throwing it down, like check downs, a couple deep shots. Khalil Shakir
yeah.
scored. He was playing great. He was probably their best player on offense, which I don't think anybody wants to see that if you're a Bills fan. Besides Josh Allen, who I think he ran for 2 touchdowns, but yeah, I mean the Chiefs are a dangerous team. I still don't think they're gonna beat the Ravens, but that was a big win for them. Can't ever count out
I
Patty.
don't know. I don't know what happened to Stephon Diggs ever since Joe Brady took over, but he's constantly just in the flats. Like every play, he's in motion, and he just stops his route in the flats, and then nobody's talking about the fact that he dropped that ball. I mean, he dropped what probably could have been the game-winning drive, big play ball, right? And it wasn't a bad ball. It wasn't a contest. He dropped it, hit his hands, And then he did this thing. I don't know what this means. Does this mean that he was this close to catching it? Does he mean that he thought Josh Allen could have put it? He dropped it. It hit his hands clear day, and nobody's for some reason. Josh Allen is getting just like I mean I get it. He can't win the big game. Is what they did with Peyton. Is what they do with these guys. Or they can't. They did it with Romo. They did it with Phil Rivers. They can't win the big game. Not to say that Tony Romo's in that class, but his knock was you can't win the playoffs. But man, he threw a bomb to Stephon Diggs and he dropped it plain as day. And so I don't know. His production just was terrible towards the end. At the beginning of this year, he was out training camp. He left training camp. They had a meeting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. in Buffalo, and to me, they seemed like maybe they might do a head coaching change. There's a guy on the market named Bill Belichick who's available, who knows a thing or two about winning Lombardis. I don't listen. I don't know if Bill Belichick is kind of like a revenge guy, but that would be a crazy way to stick it to the Patriots if he got hired by Buffalo and all of a sudden took that team that's ready to win a championship. That's the thing. The Buffalo Bills have a championship roster right now, at this instant, not 2 years from now, right now. And so I don't know. I don't know. That was listen. I thought for sure that this was their game, and they blew it. That's that. I mean, that's just playing. Nobody else is. I mean, they blew it. They're all upset, but they blew it. They blew it, and they let Patrick Mahomes come in there on the road, first playoff game, and everybody's been not talking about it. They've been saying they always say like, let's talk about Mahomes. Let's talk about Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes is. I mean, he's a winner. He's got that look in his eyes that you just know he's going to win the game. He's insane. He's insane. He is insane. That's all I can say about Mahomes. He's insane.
Yeah, he's ferocious, man. It's also weird. I don't know if you had like insider information that you're not telling anybody, but you traded in fantasy back to fantasy TBT. You traded Mike Stephon Diggs for Jahmyr
Yeah,
Gibbs 1-for-1, and right after that trade, I mean Stephon Diggs' career just went.
stunk. It was mostly because he had that bye week so late. It was during the it was like either the last week of the playoffs or first week of the
It was
playoffs, something
like
like that.
13, week 13.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what has happened to Stephon Diggs, but he looks like maybe this is his way of just maybe he has what do they call it, quiet quitting, where he's like I don't want to be here anymore, and he just wants to go to Dallas and be with his brother. And if that is the case, then I'm sure the Bills and the Cowboys will work something out. He's got a $31 million cap hit. That's not going away, whether they trade him, cut him, or whatever. Um, but man, oh man, the only thing you can say is just it's just a disappointment in Buffalo. It's just a disappointment in Buffalo that they get the 2 seed. They finally get Mahomes at home. They spent the whole week shoveling snow and they lose. They lose. So I don't know. It seems like there's got to be some type of change. Whether it be McDermott, new OC, maybe McDermott hires a DC. I know he took over the play call because Leslie Frazier retired. Maybe it's a personnel thing. Maybe they need different players. I know they were injured, like we said, but that sucks, man. That sucks to have a team like that. And then I mean, I was watching that field goal and I'm like, there's just no way.
He missed that thing so bad. That
Yeah.
was
The wind was blowing on the opposite. You can see the wind. It wasn't really blowing on that end, but you can see on the opposite end it was blowing. And I'm just like, you know what, man? But it
that thing.
wasn't
It was like a golf shot. Like it literally was going straight and
looked like
was.
Lee Green on the first
Yeah,
hole.
when he just hits it with one hand, bro, I think sliced. Like God bless, bro. That thing sliced. But hey, we got 10 minutes left. I think we should shift over to picks.
Yeah. Championship round, one of the best weekends of the NFL. 2 games on Sunday. Everybody buckle up. Get ready for great football from 4 great teams. We'll start with the NFC. Actually, we'll start in the AFC. That's the first game. Ravens and Chiefs from the bank. What do you got?
Dang. There's such little football left. I'm gonna go Ravens here in this one. Ravens, we did Super Bowl predictions. Ravens are they were my pick to win it all. I had Ravens versus Rams originally, which the Rams did not do too hot, but I think the Ravens will take this one. Obviously, the Chiefs are a good team, gritty team. Patrick Mahomes knows how to win. But from what you've seen from the Ravens, man, they are head and shoulders above every other team right now in terms of momentum, in terms of skill. Just from what you're seeing, they're blowing teams out, really good teams as well, making them look like not very good teams. Lamar's gonna win MVP most likely. I think it's pretty much already said and done. He's playing great. The way he's moving around, I mean, it's so hard to tackle him. And he's just like in his element. I saw an interview on the Tom Brady podcast with him. He was saying didn't win a state championship, didn't win a national championship. He's got to win a Super Bowl or his life's. In his words, he doesn't. He wants to win a Super Bowl that bad, or else it'll look like a failure to him. That's pretty much what he
Yeah,
said. That's what I got from it.
yeah,
All that being said, I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to match up. It's a lot tougher defense to play the Ravens defense and the offense. I mean, they put up points no matter what. So I'm going to go Ravens in this one. I don't think it's going to be a blowout per se, but I can see the Ravens winning by around like 10 points.
yeah. I'm gonna go Ravens as well, and I'm probably gonna sound like an idiot if they lose because picking against Mahomes twice. Um, but the difference is the Bills' defense is not the Ravens' defense. The Ravens' defense is extremely, extremely good, much better overall than the Bills' defense. They're healthy, like we already alluded to. Humphrey's back, Roquan Smith. You got championship caliber players like Kyle Van Noy. You got Clowney. You got guys up the middle. Um, Kyle Hamilton, first team All Pro, in the back end. Um, Ronald Darby, who's still a serviceable pro, he's one of your reserves. So they got talent. Their defense across the Patrick Queen in the middle. Their defense is not what the Bills were throwing out there. So I am going to take the Ravens. Lamar is hungry. Mahomes, it's hard. It. Listen, the streak the Chiefs are on is insane, and Mahomes has, to me, this year proven that he's not just like a talented quarterback who is going to throw. He is a proven winner and leader. To take that team with how bad they were playing and how counted out they were by everybody, and to be back in the AFC Championship game, like that's. I mean, let's just be honest. That's Brady-esque. Like that's 2018 Brady when nobody believed in them, and then they went into Arrowhead and won. I'm talking myself into the Chiefs right now, literally. Um, but this Ravens team is special. And you got that whole Harbaugh thing going where like Jim Harbaugh wins the
I
national
know. I thought about
championship,
that too.
and now John Harbaugh's in the AFC championship game. These
A lot
things
of parallels. A lot
happen.
of parallels.
The media loves this stuff. So same thing with the Kelsey brothers last year. So I'm gonna go Ravens. And then
Yeah.
we got Niners and Lions from Santa Clara. And I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna take the Lions. I'm just gonna do it. And I don't want to do this because I love John Lynch, GM of the 49ers, all-time Buck, Ring of Honor Buck, Hall of Famer. But we've said it before and we have to apply it in all scenarios. We can't be subjective about it. Seasons have momentum. The 49ers have no momentum, and that's just brutally honest. You can have all the talent in the world. Look at the 18-1 Patriots. You can have everything going right. Seasons have momentum. The 49ers have no momentum. Deebo Samuel hurt. Offense looked horrible. Defense didn't look amazing, but they did make huge plays towards the end. They just don't seem like they have the same willpower that they've had in years past. Where like let's just be honest, if Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt, that championship game last year maybe looks a little bit different because the 49ers last year going into that game were on a roll, on a tear. They are not on a roll on a tear. They got exposed, embarrassed, whatever you want to say, versus the Ravens at home, and then sputter a little bit, but they still won in Washington. And they I think lost maybe one of the Rams by one. I don't know. They benched all their starters. They got that game versus the Packers. You won, but it wasn't impressive. Which I mean, a win is a win. Apologize for a win, but I'm gonna go with the Lions here, man, because the 49ers, if you put true serum in me, they don't look good. Like they don't look like a championship caliber team right now. And that's not saying they don't have a championship caliber roster, but that team right now, injuries, whatever, groove, it's just not the way that you want it to be going into the NFC Championship game, which I'm sure they're hearing all this and it's firing them up and whatever. They still got Fred Warner, they still got Bosa, they still got a ton of great players, McCaffrey. I'm gonna go with the Lions. The Lions got that mojo right now.
Yeah, Debo being, I saw something saying he's 50-50 right now to play, which that's obviously really going to be really important because the team without Debo looks like they just look like a whole different team. Like Brock Purdy doesn't play as well statistically, usually when they're missing him. Obviously, they still have Kittle, Ayuk, CMC, some crazy weapons. And the Lions do have a lot of momentum. So honestly, this is a really hard pick. The spread is 49ers -7, which is quite a lot of points,
That's a very telling spread.
which in my opinion, it should be like three, maybe four, -4,
Yeah.
maybe -3. But I mean, I'm not an odds maker. So all that being said, I mean, the Lions seem like a good pick. I still think so. I'm gonna pick 49ers. I still think that it's gonna be a gritty game, similar to what we saw Lions Bucs, man. And the Lions are a gritty team. I just think the 49ers are somehow gonna be able to pull this out. They still have a lot of talent. Missing Debo definitely will hurt a lot. I'm assuming he's a tough guy, plays through a lot of injuries. You're going to the conference championship. You're not going to play. I'm pretty
He's
confident
hungry.
Debo will play.
He's hungry.
I think Debo will play. I mean, he might be a little limited, or might be like a decoy type role.
Yeah.
But the Lions are just riding this insane level of momentum, and I won't be shocked if they do get it done. But I'm going to go 49ers because I think it's going to be Ravens 49ers ultimately in the Super
I'm gonna
Bowl.
I'm gonna I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna change my pick. You're right. This is the Lions aren't gonna win this game.
It's going to be tough.
Niners deserve it. The Niners deserve it way more. It's not about who deserves it more, but the 49ers are gonna find a way. The 49ers are gonna find a way. You're right.
Yeah, I
Niners.
I
Niners
just
Ravens.
I think it's the lame pick because they're the favorites. Everybody, Ravens 49ers, everybody thought they're going to be in the Super Bowl. They had the best odds. So
Yep.
it's not fun to say that, but it's just most likely to
Could
be
you
true.
imagine though? Could you imagine if and I actually have not heard one person say this, and I'm shocked that not one person has said this. Could you imagine if the first game of the NFL season is Chiefs Lions and the last game of the NFL season is Chiefs Lions?
That'd be pretty wild.
That I mean,
I, for, I that just clicked in my brain. I
I
forgot
have
about
not heard
that.
one person bring that up one time. Everyone's talking about the news headlines of Ravens 49ers, whatever, like as if the NFL knows what's going to happen, which they don't. Could you imagine first NFL game, Chiefs Lions, last NFL? I mean, that would be a complete season right there.
Dang, you got me overthinking now. I'm sticking with my
Woo,
picks, but
woo,
that's a good point. That's a really I don't know how
Jesus,
nobody's thought of
man.
that.
I haven't heard
Nobody's thought
one
of that.
person say it. It just clicked in my head. First game, last game, but like I said, I agree with you. Niners are gonna
Wow.
win the game. I take back my Lions pick, but that's all we got. I hope you guys enjoyed our bit to begin the show. We thought it was funny. Hopefully you did too. If you didn't, whatever. Um, but yeah, that's all we got. This is our second to last episode while the season's going on. So
Yep. After this one, we'll be recapping the conference championship games, probably previewing the Super Bowl. We might. I'm assuming we'll have like a Super
maybe our third
Bowl.
to last episode,
Yeah,
something like
I'm
that.
assuming we're gonna have like a Super Bowl debrief.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do some off season. We'll let you all sound off in the comments.
Sound off in the comments, man. Sound off in the comments,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Share,
Jeannie.
like, subscribe,
Yeah, there's
send it.
some YouTube username. I think her name's like Jeannie Biz. She
Genie
comments a lot.
Bizzaretti. Genie
Yeah,
Bizzaretti.
Melvin. I know that you guys are two of our super chatters, so just keep
Super
commenting and let us
chats.
know.
Super
Um,
chats.
but yeah, no, we'll see you guys next week. This is awesome. Love you guys. Have a great
Love.
week.
Thank you.